I'm about to show you how to create room in your life for writing your book, even if your life is very busy, even if you just don't have the time. This would work for practically anyone. When I decided to write my book, I had entirely too much on my plate. But the way I saw it, it was gonna be either now or never. So I'm going to show you exactly what I did. What you're gonna need is a pen, paper, or just open up a file on your phone to take notes, open up a Word document, Google Doc, whatever, because there's gonna be a lot of details here that you should be writing down. The first thing I want you to write down is I want you to make a list of all the responsibilities on your plate. You know, if morning pickup, drop off is your responsibility, you have kids and that's your responsibility, put that on your list. Your job, everything. Think about from morning until evening, what are your duties, what are your responsibilities, what falls on you, okay? If you make dinner every night, that's gonna be on the list. So pause if you need to, please pause right now, make that list. Pop back on because I'm going to show you what to do with it. So I'm going to show you mine as an example because I want to demonstrate for you how to do this. Wake up at 5:30, be at the gym by 6:15, back home by 7:45, dropping kids off at school from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., work by 9:35, leave work at 3 to pick up kids, picking up kids from 3:20 to 4:20, work from home until 5:30, cook dinner from 5:30 to 6, eat as a family from 6 to 6:45. After dinner cleanup consists of me enforcing everyone's chores between 6:45 and 8-ish, you know, give or take. Hanging out with family, bed by 8:45, lights out by 10. So this was a general idea of what a day in my life looked like. I also had non-daily responsibilities, and that included church on Sundays, date nights on Friday nights, and taking my kids to any activities. And I examined what was non-essential. And for some people, maybe like church would not be essential. To me, it was, so it stayed. Going to the gym, that's essential to me. Some people might say, oh, well, for a few months, I'm just not gonna go to the gym. I'll take a 20-minute walk around my neighborhood. That's fine if that's what you wanna do. But there are going to be things on your list that are not essentials. Like you don't have to be doing it. It's that you want to, or maybe you're doing this for others to make life more convenient for them. But right now, your main priority is your book. I signed my kids up for riding the bus. So that was taken care of. And I made some tweaks to see what exactly can I get off my plate. I know I have a friend who she's going to Bible study at her church. She goes to Wednesday night services. She's off, you know, like ringing the bell for the Salvation Army when it's time. Like, and then talking about, oh, I don't have any time to write a book. I know you don't have any time, but it's time to examine like your life and see what am I supposed to be doing versus what am I doing out of guilt for everybody else. Could be that you're doing some things that are not actually essential, but because everybody expects it of you. I took that list and I started digging through it, trying to figure out what can I get off of my plate. Which one of these can I ask my husband to take over? Are there any easier options to any of these? Kind of like the bus. New list. Wake up at 5:30, be at the gym by 6:10. You'll see some little tiny differences here that make a big difference. Back home by 7:20, get ready for work. Work by 8, clock out by 3:45. Write and work on my book stuff at work in my office from 3:45 to 5:15. Eat as a family 5:30 to 6:15. After dinner cleanup consists of me enforcing everyone's chores 6:15 to 7:15. Hang out with my family, bed by 8:45, lights out by 10. I let my kids and my spouse know that I wasn't taking anyone to any extracurriculars for a few months, and if they needed a ride anywhere, they were gonna have to ask Dad. I created 1.5 to 2 extra hours in my day. I had no extra time, but I made it happen because it was temporary and because it was really important to me. Now, there were other times in my life where I know I wouldn't have been able to make that happen because we have to prioritize our life. If your book is a high priority, you need to rearrange your life. Make it happen. Maybe it's not the highest priority for you right now, and that's okay, because if your highest priority right now is like establishing your career, dealing with your health, healing from trauma, I'm just saying, like, it doesn't have to be the season that you write the book. But if you feel strongly enough about it, it probably is the season for you to write your book. Another way that I shaved off some time in my day is an app called Routinery. I have discussed here and there that I have ADHD. Well, my morning routine was ridiculous because I would just like wake up and then like scroll on my phone for a little while, and then I would get up and I would take a shower while listening to my audiobook, and then I would get distracted. So Routinery actually kept me on track, and it made it feel like kind of like a game. And the way it works is that you put in like your morning routine and how much time you estimate that it would take you to do these. And basically from the moment you wake up, there's an alarm that wakes you up, and then it will say like brush your teeth, and maybe I give myself 3 minutes for that. Wash your face, I give myself 3 minutes for that. Put your workout clothes, and I give myself 5 minutes for that. Eat breakfast, get out the door, drive to the gym, go in the gym. Like literally every one of those things I can sort of like micromanage myself, because the thing is that when I would get distracted, I would like forget what I was supposed to be doing. But there's a timer set for each of these, and you can obviously adjust these timers if like you initially was like, oh, it's only going to take me 3 minutes to brush my teeth, but in reality you got to track down the toothpaste, whatever, you know, if it takes longer you can obviously adjust it. This app like was a real game changer for me. Huge. So it shaved off a lot of time and worked very well for me. So if that's something that you do, or you just can't seem to get ready quick enough, like you get distracted, you're like, I don't know where the time is going, like I thought I had enough time and then I didn't, you might need to log what you're doing in that way with an app like Routinery. That way you can get yourself like rein it in a little bit. That is how I opened up 2 hours in my day every day for me to be able to write. Now this is going to be amazing, like game changer for a lot of people, but I'm gonna be very honest with you, this wasn't working great for me. Even after doing all of this, I was struggling with it because that 2 hours just didn't feel like enough, okay? And here's why. I just found that I don't do great writing in like little short spurts, because I felt like the minute I would get in that creative zone, the minute everything was flowing for me, it was like, oh, I have 15 minutes left, great, cool, love that for me. I'm a stubborn person, and you're gonna have to get really stubborn with me for a minute, like just hard-headed. You have to decide that you want something so bad that I'm not taking no for an answer. So this did not work great for me. We don't give up, we recalibrate, okay? So I came up with the idea of creating a writing retreat for myself, because I'm sitting here thinking, how do I solve this problem? I need to be able to like immerse myself in the experience, I guess you could say. So I came up with the idea of creating a writing retreat for myself. Now remember, I work a job, I'm a mom, you know, like I had a crap ton of stuff going on for myself. I had to work so hard to create all the space for myself. And then here I am like, okay, back to the drawing board. Let's figure this out, because I'm gonna write this book. Like, I'm gonna write this book. I'm gonna teach you how to create a writing retreat for cheap, doing it on the cheap, or free. I want to explain to you how I planned my writing retreat. So I picked 5 days on a calendar. I went on Airbnb and I found a basement apartment 1 hour from where I live for $54 a night. I booked it. Now, ideally, you should probably get the time off first and then book it, but that's not how I roll. Now, I'm just gonna recommend to you, like, if you do have respect and value your job, which I don't wanna say I didn't, but I was just like, I'm doing this. Like, I'm doing this regardless of whether they say yes or not. Like, it's happening. I was a contractor, so I informed my full-time client that I would not be working or reachable for those 5 days. With my job, I can at least schedule things in advance, so everything that I can do can be automated. And then if something goes wrong, somebody could call me like Mayday, SOS, which they could, but I probably wouldn't answer still, because I'm gonna be real with you. I have airtight boundaries. I tied up all the loose ends of my life the weeks leading up to the retreat. Now, in my case, my husband and mother-in-law took over all of my household responsibilities, including taking care of my kids and feeding them, etc. So all of the getting them to school, all of that was going to be handled by my husband and my mother-in-law. Okay, and we're going to discuss like some different things for people who don't have the same amount of, like, you don't have the same life as me, so you're gonna have your own struggles, your own, you know, limitations, your own obstacles to overcome. We're gonna discuss that in a minute. I actually brought food with me from home so I would not be distracted by eating out. Plus that would be just one less expense, because I was trying to do this on the cheap, which I did very, very well, very good job of. I let everyone, my mom, my dad, my friends, kids, etc., know that they were not to contact me during these 5 days unless there was an emergency. So, I mean, that doesn't mean like I cut my kids off and ignored or pretend like I didn't have any. I called them. But then I'm expecting it. Like, I can schedule it, I can plan it ahead of time. Whereas getting a call that is a surprise, or like, I know that for the average person, you think, oh, you got a phone call? Well, oh my God, big whoop. Like, you were distracted for a second. Like, no, I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way for me. So I might answer that phone call, or even if I don't answer the phone call, even that distraction can derail me for like 10 minutes. And I might completely forget what I was doing. I mean, like, that's completely feasible, that could happen. Those are the steps that I took to create my writer's retreat. I went, I wrote, it was very good, very, very good. Now we're gonna talk about you. Now, if your life is convenient and easy, then you may not have to problem solve as hard as some people. We'll try not to hold that against you. No promises. Just assuming that people who've got it like this aren't even watching this webinar, because they're leisurely sipping wine and writing their books without any offspring crawling all over them asking for nachos and fast food. Enjoy that, okay? Enjoy that. For the rest of us, I'm going to cover some of the obstacles and potential solutions, okay? And nobody's going to write that book for you, okay? It's you, sink or swim. Like, either you're going to make it happen or it's not going to happen, because nobody's coming into your life to cancel your schedule and be your sugar mama / sugar daddy, whatever you're looking for, and take care of all your, it's not happening. So it's up to you. Let's talk about creating the time off. I want you to right now pull out a calendar. I'm serious. Pull out a calendar. This little bad boy right here rules my whole life. I understand you youngins with your little digital ones, but I gotta have me some pen and paper. I just need this. So you need to get your calendar out, and you need to block some days off, okay? So you might end up saying, all right, these are two potential, blocks, sets of dates that I might do this. If you don't set your own schedule, tell your work which days you need off. They don't own you, by the way. Give them several options, several dates, sets of dates that could be potential writing retreats for you. One of these has to work, right? If time off is hard to come by, this is what you need to do. Scan the calendar for the next holiday that your work would normally be closed for. We just had, was it Labor Day? What is Labor Day? I don't do anything for Labor Day. I'm not missing that holiday. 4th of July. I'm not gonna miss that holiday. I mean, you might, so pick which ones you wouldn't mind missing. Like, I don't even like fireworks. Scan the calendar for the next holiday that your work would normally be closed for. Plan it around that holiday, because most jobs would give you 2 days a week off anyways as a weekend. So request your 2 days off right side by side with that, and put your weekend right up next to that holiday, and then you have a whole 3-day weekend. That is a really nice trick. Surely you could give up one holiday, is your book really worth it? Because mine was really worth it to me. Like, I desperately craved writing this book, and I wanted to get it out of me and into existence. So I think you can miss just one holiday, or maybe you could just celebrate it on a different day. So getting the help you need to take care of everything while you're away. You may not have, kids. If some of this doesn't apply to you, it's okay. Just take what you need and leave the rest. So kids, pets, and plants, that's a pretty common responsibility that people have. You might have kids, pets, or plants. If you have kids but you don't have a supportive family, try this. Can all of your kids have separate sleepovers with a friend on the same night, same weekend? It just needs to be somebody you trust, all right? Don't just drop your kids off at a fire station and be like, Amber told me to write my freaking book no matter what. Don't drop them off at my house either, because I've got enough going on there. I don't want your kids. I tolerate mine. I'm just kidding. Y'all know I'm obsessed with my kids. If you need to modify this plan, do it. Can your kids go spend a weekend at their grandparents' house? Explain to them how important this book is to you, that you really need this time and concentration to be able to pour into this book. Rover is an app that allows you to find pet sitters. They have overnight, and then they have people who will come by and just walk your dog, feed them, etc. Okay, so this is actually very affordable. I found this out when we were in Orlando going to Universal Studios. So my puppy was set up to go and hang out with a lady for, we never got to go because we all got COVID, so yeah, for that, but it was gonna be $46, and my puppy was going to spend the entire day there. There were cheaper ones too, but I picked her because she just was highly rated. Now, where will you have your writing retreat? All right, so you're probably thinking at this point, Amber, you said that I could potentially do one for free. Potentially, and here's how. So first of all, you need your writing retreat to be at a place that's not too far away. Don't try to pick a place across the country. You already having to overcome enough obstacles. The last thing you need is a long, 3-day car trip to have you derailed or change your mind or get a flat tire. You can book a hotel. You can do an Airbnb. I did an Airbnb because I wanted to be able to cook. A camper trailer, wherever. If you need Wi-Fi, this is very important here. If you need Wi-Fi for research purposes, whatever, I use it a lot because I might need to look up a Bible verse. A lot of my books include elements of my faith, or to look up a word to see what it means. I need the Wi-Fi to be able to write my book. Like I said, this doesn't have to be expensive. It can be really cheap. It doesn't have to cost anything. And I have some ideas for making this happen on the cheap, okay? Here's some free places that you can stay if you need a place to go, but you can't swing the extra expense, okay? Number one, you can check around and ask your friends when they're going on vacation, and you can house sit for them. Find out if they're gonna be out of town, especially if you end up doing the plan where you do it on a holiday. A lot of your friends are probably traveling. Find out if any of your friends would let you hang out at their house. You can offer to water their plants or whatever. This is the other option, which I'm actually doing this soon, and I can't wait to tell you guys about it. Stay at a monastery. Now, you may not know this, but all over the US, I'm assuming other countries as well, but I happen to live in the US, so I've researched this only where I live. There are monasteries that will let you stay with them. A lot of them are for free. The one I'm going to was just by donation. You can make a donation amount for anything that you feel like you want to give, and you're able to stay there. This is a silent, it's not a monastery. Mine is what is it called where the nuns are? Is that a monastery? It doesn't matter. It's a silent one. I don't know what's gonna happen to me if I don't talk to anybody. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna be fine probably. But I'm gonna have all the focus. I can join them for their prayer time if they want to, which sounds great to me. You eat there. I doubt they can accommodate for my dietary restrictions, so I'll be bringing food. But this is amazing. So monasteries are a great option. Just make sure that you don't just show up there, call it in advance. I'm giving you a link that has a list of monasteries in the US that do allow people to come and stay there. Some are going to be free and some are by donation, but I'm pretty sure all of them that you need the reservations ahead of time, and you just need to plan it, make sure it's a place that where you're going to be in control of your own schedule. Like, you know, like I mentioned, the one that I was going to had a prayer time. It's not obligatory. Like, you don't want to go someplace that's like, oh, okay, but also you have this entire schedule where you're going to be, you know, cleaning bathrooms and whatever. And if you need even more help with writing your book, I've got something for you. Are you ready?
Even with limitations and after procrastinating for years, I finally became a published author. I have ADHD and I'm a high visionary. I developed Write the Freaking Book Already for people like us. Have you told your friends, one of these days I'm going to write a book? So many times that they roll their eyes now? It doesn't matter now. You have something now that you didn't have previously. What's that? How about accountability, support, implementable strategies, monthly live coaching calls with Q&A, exclusive access to a private group full of other people who are writing their freaking book, me as your personal coach, hacks to stay motivated, focused, and overcome writer's block, instructions on how to take a writing retreat for potentially $0, an intro on editing, marketing, and publishing, and more. Truly, I've created a course that is meant to walk you step by step through the book writing process. Write the Freaking Book Already begins on October 1st. You can reserve your spot now for an early bird rate. Space is limited so that I can give everyone the support they deserve. You are going to feel absolutely on top of the world when you look back and say, dang, I wrote my freaking book. I did it. Honey, if you're waiting for a green light, I hate to tell you this, but this light isn't getting any greener. I'm right here cheering you on, and I can't wait to see you write your freaking book. Enroll today.